President Trump or Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Leader Thune, that will actually come together to have a conversation.
Here in Washington, of course, which is the shutdown. Before lawmakers broke for the weekend, House Speaker Mike Johnson said the House would not return to Capitol Hill this week.
Well, that behavior is outrageous, it's unhinged, it's unreasonable, and it speaks for itself. The American people deserve better than lies, than attacks, than deep fake videos.
This was put out by the president. The president also called the Democrats the party of, quote, hate, evil, and Satan. Is the president someone you still feel like you can negotiate with? Do you have that relationship with him?
First week, where a lot of folks aren't going to be getting their paychecks. We've got hundreds of thousands of livelihoods hanging in the balance. Democrats could end this, as you know. And you could just actually extend funding levels for 7 weeks. You could kick the can down the road. Why not?
Well, it's very unfortunate that Donald Trump and Republicans...
Welcome back to the Jay Bravado Show, and do we have a show for you today? Do we? Of course we do, and on today's episode, we're going to be cutting through the spin and getting right to the truth. Because Hakeem Jeffries is out here on every single network. He's not making any negotiations with the Republicans. He's out here on every single network pointing fingers. He's blaming everybody like Donald Trump and the Republicans for everything under the sun. But he's not being accountable. Before they even get into the interview and ask a question, he's pointing the finger at Donald Trump. There's no accountability, no ownership. He's just playing the same old blame game. He's not being accountable or responsible. He's a great deflector, but a horrible leader. Let's watch it all unfold. Roll it.
Here in Washington, of course, which is the shutdown. Before lawmakers broke for the weekend, House Speaker Mike Johnson said the House would not return to Capitol Hill this week or until Leader Schumer reopens the government. When is the last time you spoke with Republican leadership?
Well, the last time there was a conversation with Republican leadership was in the White House meeting last Monday. And unfortunately, since that point in time, Republicans, including Donald Trump, have gone radio silent. And what we've seen is negotiation through deep fake videos, the House canceling votes, and of course, President Trump spending yesterday on the golf course. That's not responsible behavior. As Democrats, our view is that we will find
All right, so that's one of many times that he's going to segue over to Donald Trump and blame the Republicans for whatever he did, whatever the Democrats did, to cancel something that they agreed on one time before. Let's roll the clip.
Partisan common ground with our Republican colleagues to reopen the government, to actually pass a spending bill that meets the needs of the American people. But we have to decisively address this Republican health care crisis that is devastating hardworking American taxpayers.
You know, Democrats are demanding an extension of Obamacare tax credits, which expire at the end of the year, as well as other health care benefits for the funding bill. Here is what the vice president said about that this week. Take a look.
It's a lie told by the Democrats that they're not trying to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. It's a lie that is obviously untrue if you just look at the text that they gave us.
He says that Democrats are lying. What is your response to that?
Well, unfortunately, Republicans are lying because they're losing in the court of public opinion as it relates to what's going on right now. We are standing up for the health care of hardworking American taxpayers,
he has a problem
of working
with
class
pointing the finger and projecting. He can't help it. He has a problem with saying, look over there. It's not me, it's those guys. Who stole the cookie out the cookie jar?
Americans, of middle-class Americans and everyday Americans who have seen over the last several months Republicans pass their one big ugly bill, largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health clinics are closing all throughout the country, including in rural America. If Republicans continue to refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, tens of millions of American taxpayers are going to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles. And that information from their insurance companies is going out right now. Now, federal law clearly prohibits the expenditure of taxpayer dollars to provide health care to undocumented immigrants, period, full stop. And no Democrat on Capitol Hill is trying to change that law.
But Leader Jeffries, let me ask you, because as you just mentioned, you are also calling for a complete rollback of the Medicaid cuts, which Republicans just passed. They say it's a non-starter. Why include that? Why not just focus on your argument that you want to see those Obamacare tax credits extended, which expire at the end of the year?
This Republican health care crisis is all-encompassing, and it has been devastating.
This is the leader of just low IQ, idiocracy. I don't know where he gets this from. Maybe he gets it from Jasmine Crockett. Maybe he gets it from Kamala Harris. She's the word salad queen. Maybe it's a thing that they practice and they do during debate rehearsal on the Democrat side. I don't know. But what Hakeem Jeffries is doing, I think he looks better with the sombrero. Just saying that. Sorry. I think he put that sombrero back on him. Boom. Because the hairline going back, the Keebler ears. All right. So, I'm sorry. The pink tie with the nothing is working. Not even the word salad. What I'm saying is, Hakeem Jeffries has a spin, he wants you to look past the problems that they are bringing to the table, and he wants to create a scenario problem, a hyperbole on Meet the Press. This is how it goes on the Democrat side. These guys have no idea what's going on. So they bring dispute, they bring different ideas and views that they come up with in the bathroom, and they just bring it on the show because none of this makes any sense to me. What do you think?
Stating to the well-being of the American people. We're talking about people in rural America, working class America, urban America, small town America, the heartland of America, and black and brown communities all throughout America. Now, we have made clear that in terms
He's so racist. Okay.
of what's immediately in front of us, there, of course, is an urgent need to address the Affordable Care Act and the Republicans' refusal to extend these tax credits. What we're talking about here is a dramatic impact on real, everyday Americans. A married couple of two, for instance, that makes $88,000 a year, a modest amount, currently pays about $8,000 a year in their health care insurance. That's already too much. But if these Affordable Care Act tax credits expire, that same couple will be forced to pay $24,000 a year. It's unaffordable. It will bankrupt them. It will leave them without coverage. And those are the people who we're fighting for.
But let me ask you, because you say this is a Republican shutdown, but it's Democratic senators who are withholding their votes on what is called a clean resolution. That means no strings attached, which is something, quite frankly, Leader, that you and other Democrats have advocated for in the past. Take a look.
You do not use the threat of shutting down government to try to advance your policy agenda.
First thing that the House has to do is pass a clean 6-week CR.
A continuing resolution that is at the fiscal year 2023 levels is the only way forward.
Why not fund the government and debate extending Obamacare?
We all know that Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats are definitely hypocritical. And we know that their leader is a hypocrite. We know that Obama was a hypocrite. We know that he's a hypocrite. In order to be a Democrat currently, you have to be a hypocrite. Excuse me. Okay, so but what I want to say about what he's about to do and what he has been doing and what he's going to do in the next clip that I'm going to show you guys is deflecting. Even some of the Democrats are getting tired of this. Even MSNBC is getting tired of this. This is something that you guys have to rethink and come back to the table. And maybe next time we can talk about healthcare. But every time we get a chance and you get a chance to hear about anything negotiable, it's about Obamacare. This is not even about Obamacare. This is more so about keeping the lights on. What are you guys doing? Chuck Schumer. No brain, no common sense attached to the decision that you're making. But I do appreciate you guys for actually showing your true colors. I really do appreciate that. You guys are actually showing your true colors to who you really are and what you really believe in. It's not the people. It's not the well-being of the American people. Roll it.
Their tax credits after the fact, they don't expire till the end of the year.
Well, what we've called for is a bipartisan negotiation where Democrats and Republicans can sit down in good faith, reopen the government, pass a spending bill that actually improves the quality of life of the American people.
They don't want
in
to
an
do
environment where the cost of living is already too high. Republicans promised to lower costs on day one. Costs aren't going down, they're going up. And if these Affordable Care Act tax credits are allowed to expire, premiums and healthcare costs are going to skyrocket.
They're going to
And America
skyrocket
is already
anyway.
too expensive for the
premiums are going to go up anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let you know, please be advised that this guy is a gaslighter, he's a liar, he's a projectionist. The premiums are going to go up in 2026. If I'm not mistaken, you can fact check that if you want to.
American people because of the Trump failed policies, the Trump tariffs, and this will make things worse. So we just want a bipartisan negotiation that addresses the healthcare crisis at the same period of time with the fierce urgency of now.
Let me ask you, because the administration has personally targeted you with memes throughout this negotiation. We'll show a screenshot of one of the videos. This was put out by the president. The president also called the Democrats the party of, quote, hate, evil, and Satan. Is the president someone you still feel like you can negotiate with? Do you have that relationship with him?
Well, that behavior is outrageous, it's unhinged, it's unreasonable, and it speaks for itself. The American people deserve better than lies, than attacks, than deep fake videos, and the president spending all of his time on the golf course. We need serious leadership, and we will continue to make clear, Leader Schumer, myself, that we will sit down anytime, any place with anyone to address this issue with the seriousness that it deserves, to stand up for the American people in addressing this cost of living crisis and this healthcare crisis that Republicans have visited upon the country.
All right, Leader Jeffries, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to play the next clip for you. What you just now saw was the word salad king. We never knew that he was going to be that. When you have no strategy, but you're trying to frame this government shutdown as strategy when it is definitely not. Because when he's pressed on numbers and accountability, he's pressed on the timeline, and then they show him that he's a hypocrite on national television, then things start falling apart fast. Watch this carefully. He uses big words, but he's actually not saying anything at all. Roll it.
Last Monday, unfortunately, the White House and Republican leaders have gone radio silent ever since then.
New York Leader Jeffries, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
First week where a lot of folks aren't going to be getting their paychecks. We've got hundreds of thousands of livelihoods hanging in the balance. Democrats could end this, as you know. And you could just actually extend funding levels for 7 weeks. You could kick the can down the road. Why not?
Well, it's very unfortunate that Donald Trump and Republicans have decided to shut the government
There he
down,
goes again.
Unwilling to provide
I don't know.
healthcare to
Wait a
working
minute.
class.
I don't know why Hakeem Jeffries has to deflect. He is the deflection king. If Jasmine Crockett and Kamala Harris are the word salad queens, then this is the deflection king right here, bar none. He is all about deflection. He cannot answer a question concisely with any foundation or merit for the life of him. Roll the clip.
Americans. We've said from the very beginning, we'll sit down with anyone, anytime, any place in order to reopen the government.
That's not true.
Find a bipartisan agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people. We need a spending agreement that improves the quality of life of everyday Americans, that doesn't hurt everyday Americans. And we also need to address this Republican healthcare crisis that is hurting people all across the country, rural America, working class America.
Do you see how he keeps bringing it back to healthcare? Rural America? This is what is he reading? Is there a teleprompter around somewhere? Because for some odd reason, I've heard this somewhere before. It's like maybe it was in the video that I played just a minute ago.
Urban America, small town America, the heartland of America, and black and brown communities all throughout America.
So, Mr. Leader, again, longest shutdown was during the first Trump presidency. This is what you said at the time about that particular shutdown. Here it is.
We are willing to take what Senate Republicans have done in order to reopen the government so that we no longer are holding 800,000 federal workers hostage.
Well, that's exactly what you're doing right now. Hundreds of thousands of workers are being held hostage. What's changed from there?
That's exactly what he's doing right now. I'm so glad that Craig Melvin from the Today Show on NBC, surprisingly, someone is holding his feet to the fire. I am so excited and ecstatic about how these networks are getting tired of the Democrats lying, coming on television and creating these narratives that are false. And they're creating this sense of care that's also false. And they're bringing it to their viewers on the network. But the network is no longer having it. The network is no longer feeling these lies and deflection. They want to know what's going on, and they want real answers. I'm so proud of them.
Then to now.
Well, actually, Donald Trump is the president. Republicans control the House, the Senate.
Deflection.
And
we could watch this video all day and we will only see the display of deflection. This is all he is going to display. I think he has no other card or no other hand or no other hat than the sombrero and deflection. That's the only hat that he wears.
Presidency. They can reopen the government if they chose to. The reality is...
Well, they would have to change the...
Exactly. That's a hyperbole. That is another hyperbole. You understand? Hyperbole.
Using that particular type of process to pass their one big ugly bill, which started this whole Republican healthcare crisis, largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripped food out of the mouths of children.
He's a nut.
And they did it so they could reward their billionaire donors with massive tax breaks. All we're saying is we need a spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people, working class Americans, middle class Americans, and everyday Americans, as opposed to what they've done throughout this year, which is to reward their billionaire donors.
But again, the majority of folks certainly don't want their health care premiums to go up. And I think a lot of folks are watching this and they're wondering, why fight this battle now? Why
That's what
not
we're all
reopen
wondering.
the
Why now?
government?
Why would you guys want to fight this battle right now? You can go ahead and pass the CR and open the government until whenever you guys get back to the table to discuss this Obamacare and this travesty and catastrophe that you guys want to talk about, this Medicaid and this Medicare for the illegal immigrants that you guys keep trying to drive home is not going to happen right now. So you might as well hang it up and get in line.
And still have these conversations and negotiate over the next few months.
Yeah, it's a really good question. But the time is now to address
No, it's
healthcare
not.
crisis.
But
No,
why
it's
now?
not.
Well,
No.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely not the time.
Period opens on November 1st. Notices have already started to go out, indicating that premiums, copays, and deductibles for tens of millions of Americans all across the country are going to dramatically increase. For example, a couple that makes $88,000 a year currently, which receives the Affordable Care Act tax credits, pays insurance of about $8,000 per year. That will triple to $24,000 a year right now. That's what people are facing right now, which is why we need to address it.
Also, that's not the conversation right now, Hakeem.
Fix the ACA subsidies. Is that an opening?
It's not the conversation.
Well, he also mentioned that in the White House meeting that we had last Monday. Unfortunately, the White House and Republican leaders have gone radio silent ever since then.
So you guys have...
Wait a minute. Wait one moment. That definitely sounds familiar. Now, if I am not mistaken, hold on. I think I have that video. I'm almost 100% sure that I have that video somewhere.
Monday, unfortunately, the White House and Republican leaders have gone radio silent ever since then.
So you guys...
Republicans, including Donald Trump, have gone radio silent.
It's the same script, new suit, different haircut, no sombrero, but it's still Hakeem Jeffries with the same script. Just a new network, new suit. Okay, so that wasn't leadership. That was muscle memory. He has the same talking points, the same excuses, and the same deflection. See, what's really intriguing and what's really interesting is how Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats have a playbook that they cannot get out of. They're so stubborn that even Stephen A. Smith and the rest of the Democrats, Bill Maher, are getting on board. People are getting turned off by the lies and the deflection. We can't trust you guys anymore. And that's really turning people off. They're tired of copy and paste politics. They're tired of CC, carbon copies. We're all tired of that. You guys sound just like Joe Biden. Joe Biden sounds just like Obama. Obama sounds like Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett sounds like AOC. And AOC sounds like Chuck Schumer. So on and so forth. Hakeem Jeffries sounds like everybody. Did you guys get the same email? Are you reading from the same book? Do you walk around with that script like the Constitution in your left pocket? We're all getting sick and tired of that. So with that being said, we're going to go on over to Common Sense. Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher. They're really getting sick and tired of the left, and they're going to tell you about it. Let's roll it.
Do you think a far lefty can win a national election in this day and age?
All right, this is Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith bringing common sense. I found this video on YouTube, and I want to give the credit where credit is due. So I'm going to put the credits in at the bottom in the description. But I found this video, and I found it really interesting that Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher have combined and came up with a middle ground for the Democrats. Yet the Democrats have yet to see the middle ground. I don't think they will ever see the middle ground, no matter if they win or lose. I think they're stubborn and they're stuck in their ways, no matter how silly or illegitimate they seem. They're trying to open up the eyes of the Democrats. And I don't think there's any other way to do so but to bring them common sense and bring it right to their face. Let's go ahead and watch the video.
a presidential election. Do you think that
A
could happen?
far left, you mean like AOC?
Yes. I'm just whether it's what you said about Newsom, whether it's an AOC. I mean, do you think somebody like that can win a general election for the presidency of the United States in this day and age? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. To me, the Democratic Party is a ghost brand. You know what a ghost brand is? It's like Sears or,
Okay.
you know, General Electric. You know, it's still a company, Abercrombie and Fitch, but they've really fallen on hard times.
Yeah.
But
This is serious. When Bill Maher brings the facts in such a harsh way, he looks almost sad, and so does Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if he was crying or he has a cold. It's really sad what's becoming of the Democrat Party. They can't display empathy. They're hypocritical. With the Charlie Kirk thing, I think that was the most despicable display of humanity. It was so strange to see someone celebrate, to see anyone, to see people laugh and joke. The Jimmy Kimmel thing, maybe he shouldn't have got fired, but I'm not here to talk about that right now. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And maybe it's not the right this demonic as the Democrats say. Maybe you guys need to look in the mirror. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go and need to look in the mirror. We're gonna get back to the video. Roll it.
but they've been around for a long time. So there is value in it's an asset, right? Because there are still people who know of the company and if you could have somebody take it over who's not sentimental about that company and relaunch it, rebrand it, but it would have to be somebody who is unapologetic about calling them out. People have lost faith in the Democratic Party for very good reason.
That's the truth, and that is there's no teleprompter. There's no script. That's just the pure truth. Sometimes I disagree. Most times I disagree with Bill Maher. When he brings the truth out about the left, as he does in many situations, and so does Stephen A. Smith, when he speaks on the Democrat Party, these guys are bringing the truth to the table, and there's no refuting the truth. There's no refuting the obvious truth. What do you think about that? Hakeem Jeffries is still reading from the same playbook, still making excuses, still deflecting, and the mainstream media is getting sick and tired of that. And even Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher are not pretending anymore. Wow, this is not politics anymore. This is reality, and it's catching up. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you getting sick and tired of the lies and the deflection and the excuses that are coming from the left? Drop a comment down below. And until next time, be strong, be vigilant, pray without ceasing, and keep a song in your heart. And as always, I love you. And you know I do.